All right, welcome everybody. So the main core pitching for today, or the brief coaching for today, is to share with you a framework that you can use to finish whatever you start this year. I have taught us in this community, and many a times when I'm having a session with the people who are registered mentees, I have taught us, and I will keep teaching this concept that there is no way you can progress in life if you don't have the attitude of finishing things. I actually like to call it the spirit of finishing things, because when you have a spirit of something, you don't do it on and off. When something has become a spirit, a culture of your life, it means that no matter what is happening in your life, you get that thing practice. You practice that thing, right? And it's important that in this, our first session for the year, should teach us, remind us, challenge us, inspire us, hold us accountable to wear that cap of finishing important projects throughout this year, because you are only going to have a great year based on how many important projects that you completed. And when I talk about important projects, I am talking about projects or activities that have a direct relationship with your ultimate goal for the year, with your ultimate career or business vision, and of course, with your ultimate life purpose as a person. And before I teach you that framework to finish things that you started, as I was preparing, I was just not like I was preparing, I was just sitting on my work table in the office, in the house office here. Now, and some ideas just pop up through my mind. Sometimes I just like to ponder about the way I live life, the way I get things done, and all of that. And the things that came up in my mind, which I pondered upon, which I want to share with us, is in 2024, pursue a daily life in 3 directions. And this is what I was telling myself that I would do this year. In 2024, pursue a daily life. In other words, live your life daily in 3 directions. What does that mean? Whatever you find to do on a daily basis, including this teaching right now. For those who are in Africa, in Europe, it's 4 a.m. For those who are in Dubai, I don't know what time it's in Dubai. For anybody from the US, it's 9 p.m. plus Central Time. Whatever, one of the things that is going to help you have an incredible year is if you pursue your daily life, whatever action that you take on a daily basis, it should sum up around 3 key directions. Number one, it should bring meaning to your life. Number two, it should bring fulfillment to your life. Number three, it should bring practical results in your life. I was just thinking about this today. And I just concluded that if I'm going to have a great year, if I'm going to have an incredible year, a year that is going to contribute to me manifesting my life purpose, and a year that will play a significant role in my ultimate living. Now, what do I mean by this? Let's say at the age of 80, I need to be at the age of 80, and I'm not regretting that, oh my God, I wasted 2024. No. You need to make sure that the way you live every year plays a critical role in your ultimate being, in your ultimate livelihood as a person at the of your good old age or at the end when you are retired. You get the concept? And to do that, live life in 3 directions. Number one, every activity that you do, find some meaning in that activity. Let that activity mean something. Let me tell you, even if you're about to watch a movie, let there be some meaning in why you're watching that movie. Don't just watch because you were hopeless, you had nothing to do, or you were bored. In this community, we are all, our goal is to end up great and create significant impact and be the top 1%, right? Is that our goal? If that's your goal, type in the chat box, that's my goal. Go ahead, somebody. If that's your goal, if your goal is, critically well that you're going forward somewhere, and your goal is to be at the top 1% in your industry and to be balanced. When I mean top 1%, you're doing well in career, you're a significant figure in your industry. Number two, you are doing well financially. Number three, you have a good, incredible relationship with God. Number four, you are doing well as a family person, you're supporting your family. Number five, you're creating impact in the community. That's what it means to be at the top 1%, right? You need to make sure that you have this particular concept. So whatever you do, let it have some meaning. You understand? For example, if you're watching a movie, I have two reasons why I watch a movie. Number one, to detox, right? And I practice this strategy of really making sure that everything I do with a meaning, to the extent that I have it is in my calendar when I watch movies. Sometimes it's once after 2 months, once after 3 months. Sometimes I push it. But when I'm watching a movie, there's a meaning to it. And that's why I don't watch any kind of movie. I go read the storyline, I go read the concept, I like movies that talk about intelligence, thinking capacity, talk about history, where the world is coming from, where the world is going to. You don't just watch any kind of movie. You still watch movies that challenge your thinking. You watch movies that the stories will show you how to look at life from different direction, right? Because everything is with meaning. Even if you're going to, example, when I'm with my daughter, I like to take her out and we go hang out. There's a meaning. There's a family bonding. There a lot of things. I'm going out with my wife. We're doing anything together. There is a meaning to that. So that you don't end up losing what you cannot get back. As I said earlier, one of the things that remains critical in your life that you must protect jealously is your time, because when you lose time, you cannot buy it back, right? Number two, fulfillment. Don't live life, life is too short for you to live life managing, you're sad, you're not happy, and all of that. No, there's no need doing something that you will not find it fulfilled. Fulfillment is important for human existence. Even as you're listening to me, you should feel fulfilled listening to me. You feel fulfilled being part of this coaching session, be fulfilled. Oh, this is so nice because it's contributing to my mental intelligence, it's contributing to my personal development, it's contributing to the capacity that I need to create the type of life that I desire to see happen. I am fulfilled going through this. And sometimes fulfillment is a state of being, not sometimes, it's a state of being and understanding, right? For example, I always like to say something funny. If you don't have a car and you're going to walk, enjoy walking. Don't move around and you're angry, you don't have a car and your friends have cars. Don't change anything. Enjoy walking. Can you convert that walking into, oh, as I'm walking like this, I'm doing some exercises. As I'm walking like this, I have the time to think. As I'm walking like this, I'm going to see people and see past and see happenings and circumstances, and they will help me relax my brain and see things from different perspective. Or if I'm taking a bus, it's okay. I don't have a car. I'm going to take a bus. As I take a bus, I'm going to meet new people. I'm going to see that people behave differently. Turn things into fulfillment. Learn to enjoy every process, because when you have that kind of mindset, it also contributes to how open your mind is. Somebody who is always complaining and abusing and thinking negative things, you cannot be creative and innovative like somebody who is always in a state of joy, fulfillment, happiness, and they enjoy the process. Contribute to how creative you are. And number three, whatever you find to do is make sure that it creates practical result in your life. Don't just do things. No, what is the practical result? For example, you're listening to this coaching right now. What is the practical result after this? What is the practical result right now? Oh, the practical result is I am picking a couple of things that I'm going to start practicing immediately as an entrepreneur, as a professional. If you're reading a book, what is the practical result? Is it a book on marketing? Is it a book on sales? Is it a book on social media? Is it a book on how to dominate the industry? How am I going to pick it out and implement practically? Okay, so think about this as you start and pursue this year. And I And I believe that it is going to contribute greatly to who you are and the type of result that you are going to get. The second thing that I was pondering about, which I want to share with us, is come to a place where you are comfortable at pushing into the unknown and creating new path for yourself. Don't always be the person who is trying to do what everybody else is doing. Be comfortable at pushing into the unknown and also creating new path. The good thing about this is you can become a thought leader. You can teach other people how to do what you did. You can become a role model in that path. You can learn what others did not learn. You can become very innovative in that process. Throughout this year, if you find yourself on a path that is unknown and you have not been there, don't run away. Don't scare away. Don't feel as if you're going to fail. Okay? Push into that path. Be comfortable at driving towards the unknown, and of course, be comfortable at creating a path that has not existed. Be comfortable at taking a course that in an area that you are not used to, so that you can learn a new skill and add to your existing skill so you can develop what I like to call rare expertise. And as I during our retreat, 5 days retreat last year, December, I was talking about one of the most important things you need to become good at is the quality of skills you have gathered that makes you to command rare expertise in your industry. That is going to help you greatly as a professional. Let's go to our framework for today, and then we round up. So as I said, I wanted to teach us on the F.I.N.I.H framework, how to finish what you start. As I was saying, and I'll keep saying this, if you're going to have a great productive year, one of the things, one of the taps, one of the consciousness that you have to develop is the consciousness of finishing every important project you start. Finishing every important project you start. It will cause you pain. It will cause you discomfort. It may even cause you sleep. You may even lose out on hanging out with friends. But as long as that task has a critical role to contribute to the quality of results that you will end up achieving in career and business this year, you have to make up your mind to finish what you start this year. And what is the F.I.N.I.H framework? So we are taking the word finish, F-I-N-I-S-H, finish. We're going to take F, we talk about it, we take I, we talk about it, we take N, we talk about it, we take S, we talk about it, we take H, we talk about it. And that is the finishing framework I want to challenge you to use this year. And before we get to that, can you make a declaration? I will finish what I start this year. Come on. I will finish what I start this year. Write that in the chat box. If you know that you have made up your mind that you will finish what you start this year. Yes. So there are some people right now, you need to go and take those important projects that you did not finish last year and finish this January by fire, by force. Who has old projects that you have been shifting throughout last year that you need to finish in January? Who is that? You need to repent. You see, I have customers in that department. I have a lot of customers in that department. All right. So let us use the F.I.N.I.H framework and we are good to go. The F, the first framework in this, is focus on one priority task at a time. Focus on one priority task at a time. Now, this means a lot. It sounds simple, but it means a lot. But the key thing here, the key things here are priority, focus, priority, and task in this first framework. The goal is focus on one priority task at a time. Now, at a time here doesn't mean that you have one task and you will take the whole month or the whole week for that task. No, it means that it is important to create time for every task. You can do a couple of tasks a day, but at a time in your case can be 2 hours. So if you pick a task that is important and you have dedicated that according to your schedule for the day, this task, you're going to spend 2 hours on this task. That is the time for that task. So if you're going to ever finish that task, you're going to focus on that one task at that time. Don't allow social media to interrupt. Don't start working on it and then you jump and go to another thing. Let's say you're working on a computer. Don't start working on that tab and then you jump and open a website, and before you know it, you're watching a YouTube video that doesn't make sense. Right? So focus on one priority task at a time. But you need to create that time, create that task, and make sure that you focus on it. If you do this, you will always end up finishing. For example, I always like to use the concept of the books that I've written. In a time when I want to write a book, right? I have 10 more books I have not yet published. They're just in my laptop. Many times when I want to write a book, I can just decide, maybe I already have the book skeleton and the book concept and all of that. And I know, okay, it's going to be 17 chapters, 10 chapters, 12 chapters, whatever that is. I can now decide that, okay, based on this chapter and each concept I'm going to write, one chapter may likely be maybe 5,000 words, 7,000 words. It depends, whatever. I'm just using a number. And I can now have a goal on a daily basis that every day I will write 300 words of particular chapter every day. And one thing I'm writing a book is that sometimes you're doing something different, or you're driving, or you're at the airport, an idea pops in that you may need to come add to the book, or you may need to expand upon and add it to a chapter. You jot it down, you can that morning, whatever time you put it. So every morning, I like to write every morning. So I do that, and then, okay, the focus, one priority task for that morning, it could be 6 a.m. to 7 a.m., is to write 300 words, 400 words, 500 words of this chapter for that 1 hour. Now, that is the task. The goal at that particular moment, nothing else matters. I need to focus on it because my brain needs to put the concepts on paper in the best way it can that particular time. And the time is 1 hour. And I need to get it done in that 1 hour. Nothing else interrupts. When that is 1 hour is done, there is another task for another time with absolute focus until the day ends at 4 p.m., 5 p.m., 11 p.m. It depends on what type of work you do. For many of us, if you have a job, you can do the same thing at your work every day. You break it down, you break your work task down, and you focus on it. It's going to help you. But make sure that this year you focus on one priority task at a time. And you need to make sure that you have the task, you establish the time, and of course, you make sure the focus is there. The next framework, the next element in this framework is the I. Remember, we're breaking down the F.I.N.I.H framework. The I, what does the I mean? The I is related to the first one. Anywhere there is focus, it means interruptions, distractions have been kept away. So the I stands for ignore interruptions and distractions. Finish. F, focus on one priority task. I, ignore interruptions or distractions. There is no way you will finish important things if you allow interruptions and distractions to set in. That's why most of the time, there are some tasks that you can pick based on your schedule. For example, there are some important tasks that I prefer to do at 3 a.m., 2 a.m., And I prefer to go to bed if I must sleep at 6 a.m., get 1 hour of sleep, and I start my day, if that task is that critical. Because distractions are crazy. And research says that, if I remember the correct data right, I think research says that when you lose distractions, to get it back can take about 25 minutes for you to come back to that level of focus where you were. I don't know about you, but focus is very important to me. Focus is very, very important to me, right? Especially intense focus. You know, focus is in levels, but there is intense focus where your brain is operating at a very different dimension and thinking at a very fast speed in a very creative, innovative way. And if you're building something or you're working on something that requires that intense focus, one of the things that you need to do is you need to find a way to cut out interruptions and distractions. What do I do sometimes? For example, I'm teaching right now, and this teaching needs me to concentrate and to be focused if I'm going to drive out my points in a compelling and inspiring way. My phone is here, right? It's totally offline because a WhatsApp message can come in at any time. Um, Anybody can try to call at any time. So it's better to put it off for the 30 minutes or 45 minutes, focus on this. When I'm done, I get back to it. Right? For some phones, most phones have this focus button. You can go click focus. You're still online, but when messages come in, you don't get any sound, you don't get anything, but it doesn't show you any notifications as you are focused. But ignore interruptions and distractions. If you are going to experience intense focus, you must learn to starve your distractions. You must learn to cut out your distractions. Many of us have not operated from the place where we are able to create something exceptional and something excellent and something very innovative because we have never really been very focused. If they carry out research and do a test of many people, you will notice that the last time they were focused in their life was like 10 years ago. Many people, when you hear the way some people talk and the way some people communicate, or you look at the way they do certain things, that this person doesn't know how to be very focused. They are easily distracted when they are doing something, right? So ignore interruptions and distractions. Create a system to block it out. Create a system to block out distractions and interruptions. If you have an office, lock it up when you want to be really focused. Go offline if need be. Work late in the night if need be. But whatever that you need to do that is critical for you, as far as your ultimate life goal is concerned, you need to create that system. The end in this framework, is now is the time, not later and not tomorrow. Now is the time to get it done. Yes. Now is the time to get it done. You must have the mindset and the attitude of now is the time. And this is where the power of scheduling your day comes in. If you don't schedule your day, you will not be able to practice this third element in this framework. Because how will you know that now is the time? You see, you will only know that now is the time if you actually scheduled the time to get that important task done. So the foundation of this element is scheduling. Use your Google Calendar if you can. But let now is the time element coming. Don't procrastinate. And like I always teach, you cannot practice this element if you are driven by motivation. You cannot practice this element if you're the kind of person that you do things based on how you feel. Motivation is, I always say motivation is for babies. Self-discipline is for men and for ladies. There is a dimension of result manifestation that you can only achieve when you operate from the place of self-discipline, not from the place of whether you're motivated or not. Many people are mostly motivated. So they only do important things when they are motivated, or they only do important things when somebody shouts at them, or they only do important things at the dime minutes. They only do important things when they have been put to pressure. But achievers, high achievers don't work like that. High achievers create a structure and respect that structure. Create a system and respect that system. So it is about, if my calendar says that at 9 p.m. I'm supposed to start teaching. For example, I have a personal philosophy. I like to start setting up for meetings 20 minutes to the time. Right? And most of you know here, I always share the link at exactly 10 o'clock, or 10 minutes to the time I announce. My tradition actually is, if I'm supposed to have a Zoom session, I don't care whatever it is, but 20 minutes to that time, I start setting up. I don't care what I was doing. I don't care if I was watching a movie or whatever I was doing, but now is that time, do the setup, right? So now is the time. And for you to practice this element, do things from the place of self-discipline, not based on how you feel or whether you're motivated or not. And let me tell you something. If you are going to achieve anything great, if you're going to, let me tell you, I always fondly say that anybody you see that the society celebrates is somebody who built their life, career, and business on self-discipline. You cannot build an incredible life on feelings and motivation. Please hear me very well. There are many of us here, many of us that we are saying that we did not finish important tasks last year and you need to finish this year in January. If you go look at why you did not finish, you will notice that there was nothing super, super important that really stopped you from finishing those tasks or from starting the task. The only thing that stopped you was that you allowed your feelings to rule you. You are not in the mode and you allow that feeling to take control of you instead of you taking control of that situation, right? You allow the flesh to dominate and you allow the spirit man to be, to be covered by the flesh, right? The next I in that framework, remember, if you're joining in right now, I am teaching on the F.I.N.I.H framework, just a foundation and encouragement, and to inspire you that if you're going to have a year that makes sense, a year that will help you to be an achiever, you need to make sure that you have a strong relationship with finishing any important task that you start. And there is a process to do that, and that is the process that I am teaching. And when we saw F, focus on one priority at time, I ignore interruptions and distractions. The N, now is the time, not later, not tomorrow. Avoid later or tomorrow. Avoid it except you're sick and you cannot move, except there's a situation beyond your human capabilities. Don't let your mind deceive you and say, no, let's do it later. Let's do it in 5 minutes. Don't fall for that. Remember, I told you guys, for those who are in that class, I told you guys how many of us have taught our bodies to be lazy, right? Many of us need to unteach our bodies. Anytime, for example, you set an alarm clock to wake up at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. or 4 a.m. and anytime it rings, you send your hand and you put it off and you go back to bed. You are teaching your body how to be lazy. You're teaching your body how to be disobedient. If in the last couple of years, you have been setting goals and you're telling yourself later, when the time comes, later, tomorrow, you have taught yourself how to procrastinate. You need to start unteaching yourself that. Because if you don't unteach yourself, years will come and go, and there is no significant achievement in your life. Okay? All right. The next I in the F.I.N.I.H framework is initiate and innovate to keep going. initiate, and innovate to keep going. And this is so critical in the journey of achievement. You know, I was teaching somewhere, forgotten where was that. And I said, the people that disrupted the world, or anybody who has disrupted the society in the last 20 years and 30 years, you'll find these two things in their life. You find the ability to initiate and the ability to keep on innovating so they keep going. Consumers never rule the world. If you are somebody who's always consuming, you just sit and you're lazy. You don't challenge yourself. You don't push yourself. You don't create something, or you're not part of a creation team. You are just there. You are just existing. You are not living. You're a consumer, and you will never rule, or you will never be part of a community or a team that changed the world or impacted the world. Or even you would never really be one of those people that contributed positively to your family, right? So you need to have the attitude of initiating and innovating. If you are going to advance this year, if you're going to finish this year and turn back and recognize that, oh my goodness, 2024 contributed a great path in who I am becoming as a person of impact, in who I am becoming as a great person. Let me tell you something. If you ask me what role 2023 played, and 2022, 2021, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2017, 2016, to 2015, when I started having this mindset, if you ask me the role that year played in who I am becoming and to where I am going to as a man and as an industry leader, and based on what I want to achieve before I leave this world, I will tell you. I will tell you. Right? So you need to have the attitude of initiating and innovating so you keep going. You will not finish that project if you don't initiate it. You will not finish what you don't initiate. What you don't start cannot be finished. And what you initiate and don't innovate in the process will not be completed the right way. And you can just innovate it by asking for counsel. Let's say you're a mentee right now. You face a challenge, you may need innovation, you may reach out to me and say, okay, this is what is happening, and I don't know how to handle the situation. What do you recommend? And the counsel, the advice, the information I may give may just be piece that you need to innovate. Or you may look for an experienced person in that industry where you're facing a challenge. Go to the person, pay transport, call the person, schedule a Zoom session, whatever that you do, just to get extra perspective and extra knowledge and information so you can do it better, is what will keep you going and help you to be a high achiever this year. And you cannot innovate what you have not initiated. There are people who try to innovate in their brain. They have an idea, they have something they want to do, they run it in their head, and they made an obstacle in their head, and they try to innovate it in their head. That's the most funny thing to do, right? So start it. And for mentees, most of it, I ask all the mentees to submit their 12 goals for 2024, right? When you submit those goals, that is the prerequisite for initiating. Now go back and pick those goals one step at a time. Like I said, put in a spreadsheet, online spreadsheet, because at the end of the year, you will submit back that spreadsheet and I'm going to check it out. This is what I said you would do. How far have you gone? So don't misplace that sheet. Thank God you're creating on your personal Google, so there's nothing like I misplaced the sheet. But the pre-phase of initiating is to have it documented. So how will you initiate that goal number one? What do you need to start doing? Go start doing it. And when you face a challenge, run towards it. When you face a challenge, find a way to innovate. If you need extra information, find it and innovate and keep the process going. That is how you are going to be a high achiever. There is no high achiever that you will see that doesn't initiate and doesn't innovate. It is part of their core activities as high achievers. All right, so initiate and innovate so you can keep going. Show me somebody who will be stagnant. I will show you somebody who doesn't initiate anything in their life and doesn't innovate in the process that they are pursuing. Number S, I'll say number something, S. The S in the finish framework. Remember, we're breaking down the word finish to create the framework you need to use to finish whatever you start this year. S is stay the course, however tough it gets. Stay the course, no matter how difficult it gets. Stay the course. Somebody, you need to stay the course. That is why in the retreat, I thought about the 7 dimensions power that you need to dominate this year, right? And one of the powers that I taught was resilient power. Everybody on earth needs resilient power, even the US president, even the richest billionaire, because everybody faces challenges. If you're somebody who follows US politics, because we recognize the US president as one of the most powerful men on earth, he will draft a policy, take it to Congress, they will reject it. Take it to the Senate, they will reject it. Governors will fight, this and that will fight. This is the most powerful man on earth, but he still faces challenges. Talk about Elon Musk. Talk about Mark Zuckerberg. If you follow international news, business news, you see the challenges they face on a daily basis. But one thing that is very peculiar in their life is that they command a high dimension of resilient power. Some people unfortunately feel that because they are poor or because they're still struggling in life, that's why their life is full of many difficulties. No, everybody on earth has difficulties. The difference is some people command a high quotient of resilient power that no matter the toughness, no matter the tough challenge that comes their way, they will overcome it. They will overcome it. So if you are going to build something that makes sense this year, if you're going to achieve something that makes sense this year, you need to respect the principle of staying the course, no matter how difficult it gets. Stay the course, however tough it gets. Have that resilient power. I was reading a book and somebody made a very important statement, and he said, many a times, I think it's an entrepreneur book, yes. So many a times, what separates great entrepreneurs from good entrepreneurs is the extra mile that they go despite the challenges. Let me say that again. He said, what separates great entrepreneurs from good entrepreneurs is the extra mile that they go despite the challenges. I have a question for you. Are you a good entrepreneur or a great entrepreneur? Are you a good professional or a great professional? Go ahead, give me feedback in the chat box. Which one are you? Are you a good entrepreneur or a great entrepreneur? Remember, a great entrepreneur goes the extra mile when things are so damn difficult. But a good entrepreneur gives up and manages with what they have. So are you good or are you great? Leave me feedback in the chat box. I'm waiting for feedback. Are you good or are you great? No, it's a mentality. It's not. So make up your mind now. Yes, for those who say you are good, make up your mind now and become great. It's a mentality. It's a state of being. It happens from the place of understanding this and challenging yourself. That from today, oh my goodness, I have picked the path of the great. That's the spirit, guys. Lastly, and then I can get questions, is the H. What does the H stand for? Everybody's going to like this one. Everybody's going to like this one, right? Hail the finishing by celebrating your accomplishments. Hail the finishing. Celebrate yourself when you accomplish something. Now, let's do something. There's something I did one time with my friends. Let's do it here. I like this one. Let's do it here. Now, I want everybody to think carefully about that one big gift. Let's do it here. Huh? That is the last element in this framework. In the chat box, I will give people time to think carefully. But I want all of us to agree what we will buy for ourselves as a gift to our. One of my friends bought himself a very expensive car, full of millions cars, because his business did so well last year. He made millions. I know what. Let me give myself a treat and buy a good Jeep. A good Jeep for myself. And that's it, right? So the H here in the Finish framework stands for what? Hailing finishing. Hail finishing by celebrating your accomplishment. Hail yourself. Hail yourself by celebrating your accomplishment. So I want to do a deal like a community. What will you buy or what will you do for yourself if by December 31st, it must not be 31st, it can be December 20th or December 1st, that you have come to a place where you know that you have accomplished, let's say 90% and above of your goals for the year. What will you buy for yourself or what will you do for yourself as a way of celebrating your accomplishment? If you already have it in mind, write it in the chat box as a declaration of faith, right? Faith can move mountains. One of my favorite things to say. Okay, I will go on a trip to Dubai. All right, Kendria, I'm going to hold you that. Kendria, go under your Google Sheet. If you're a mentee, when you write this, go under your Google Sheet and write celebrating my accomplishment, write trip to Dubai. All mentees, if you write this, go and add on your Google Sheet that you're submitting to me. Take a trip to Dubai or to Zanzibar, Tanzania. Okay. Okay, build a house. That's good. That's good. All of you mentees, I want to see this at the end of your Google Sheet that you're submitting for your goals for this year. Let's go, guys. Let's go. People are thinking, oh, nobody thought about that. I like this, right? It's about spoiling yourself. Let me tell you what I used to do. I don't do that often a lot. But when I used to do something nice, I'll go buy myself a suit. There was a time I had so many suits. I started giving out a lot of suits and dresses, right? I do something nice. I would want to treat myself. I go buy a suit, right? And one thing I like to do is when I do something nice, I go buy my favorite food in a restaurant and I eat. All right. People who are doing, I'm going to refuse. I'm going to refuse some celebrations. I'll buy a piece of land. That's good. Change my wardrobe, but do something better. Do something better. When I say something better, I'll buy a piece of land or a car. Okay, this kind of goal, I would like you to. Okay, good. Let's see. Go on vacation. Where are you going for vacation? Please put the location. Put location. Dreams are powerful. Put location. Put location. One of my dreams, I want to take my wife on vacation to Australia or to Paris. That's one of my goals. So hope I do that this year or next year. We'll see. I desire to buy my wife a car. Not say you will buy your wife a car when you achieve those goals for this year. Right. No, not lunch, not lunch. We're talking about you want to take the whole year and give yourself only lunch. No, that one, I don't accept that one. I will go on vacation with my husband to Paradise Island. Where's Paradise Island? I've never heard of that one. Which country is that one? For myself, Apple Ultra smartwatch and a latest iPhone of the year. And my family taking my wife and baby to Tanzania. That's good. That's good. Yes, please. Hail yourself. Celebrate your accomplishments for the year. Okay? 7-seater Range Rover. That's good. Do that, right? There was a time that I don't know, you can do this in your circles if you want to go extreme. But there was a year that I and my friends, we were having a session like this, end of year planning for next year. And we come to a conclusion and we said, okay, guys, to hold ourselves accountable, we are going to do this. If A doesn't achieve, if you don't achieve your goal, so we paired ourselves into groups. If you don't achieve your goal and I achieve mine, you are going to fund my celebration. That's what we did. So let's say that Joshua and I are paired together. So Joshua says he wants to buy himself a Venza car. So the goal was, if I fail to achieve my goals for the year and Joshua achieves the goal for the year, I buy Joshua the car. That was extreme, extreme. And if everybody achieves it, we all fund ourselves to a country for a time vacation and just business research in that country and see. So we picked the country we're going to travel to and all of that. And it was good. So everybody we would like to spend millions to buy somebody's car or buy somebody's land or pay somebody's trip. That everybody achieved their goal. Everybody, nobody was sleeping. Nobody was sleeping, right? So if you have good friends, I don't know about your inner circle, but if you have good friends, you can do that. You can share the idea with them and see if they're going to take it, or you can decide and put a particular amount. Okay, let's do this. You can share, and there are goals that are trackable, so that nobody, not cheating, right? Not cheating. Goals are trackable and they are verifiable, right? A challenge that it's going to help you. But that is it, guys. That is the framework. That is the F.I.N.I.S.H framework. Again, one thing, as you guys know, my desire is that I want to see everybody in this community rise to the top. You don't know the joy that I get when I see some of you doing incredible things on social media, or some of you just send to me what is happening to you, or I just talk with some of you and I hear what is going on. You don't know how incredibly excited and how fulfilling it is for me to see that. You see, if there was a magic wand, there was something I could just do, like run my hand like that, and it happens and all of us become successful, I would do that, right? That's how much I love you guys. And I want to see you guys make it in such an incredible, powerful way. Okay. And the purpose of this first session for the year, we're going to, as you guys know, we are going to have so many teachings as a community throughout the year, as we have been doing, to make sure that I keep you. One thing that I like to achieve in this community is keep you on your toes, so that you're not resting, you're not sleeping, you're not comfortable, you're on your toes towards a better life, career-wise, business, financially. You help your family, you help the community, you make God proud, you make me proud, you make everybody who believes in you proud, right? That is what I want to see. So the purpose of this session was to bring that challenge, that inspiration, to remind you some of these things are not new, just that I presented in a different way, but is to remind you and encourage you and challenge you that, hey, this is just the 2nd of January, but it's not time for you to get comfortable. It's not time for you to follow every other person and just, oh, it's just New Year, let me rest, let me relax. I ate a lot, I did this, I did that. No, people like us, we don't operate like that. We hit the ground running. If you're going to have competitive advantage, you need to be a step ahead of every other person. And one way to do that is for you to hit the ground running immediately. Okay? All right, people, have a good time. When it's 2nd January, the economy goes back to boom everywhere around the world, right? Offices are opening back as if nothing happened. Life goes on, the hustling goes on. So the week starts basically, and we do that. Okay, so take care of yourselves. You'll be getting an announcement from me. And of course, as you guys know, the Peak Performance Academy is a paid community. So I will be giving instructions on how to pay to join the 2024 class. It's still the same price, 15,000 francs for the whole year, only 15,000 francs. The teaching I've taught today for 1 hour, if you're going for a paid personal development program, how much would you have paid? Right? So I will give instructions in the WhatsApp group that we are in for the champion. So we're creating a new group for High Performers 2024. High Performers 2024. That is a name for 2024 group, because I want everybody to perform at a higher level in 2024. But please know this, and I'll keep saying this. The day you decide to give up, the day you decide not to take action and produce, know that the number one person you are disappointing is me. That's how much I believe in you, and that's how much I want to see you rise to the top, rise and just build that incredible dreams that all of you guys have in your head. And the fact is, I believe everybody in this community has the capacity to do that. Everybody listening to me, every one of you, you have the capacity to do that. Will there be challenges? Yes, of course. But the difference is that we choose to eat the challenges for breakfast and pursue the life that we desire and create the impact that we want to see. Okay? Right, people, take care of yourselves, and we will see any day from today as we continue with our culture, teaching on strategy and opportunities that exist, especially in the digital space that you can take advantage of. I'll talk about that a lot this year, how to tap on the digital space, what to do to take advantage of to scale your career and your business. Take care of yourselves. God bless you.